So I logged into Soulseeker today, and I got the alert that they're shutting down the game. I was in the middle of creating a fan site for this game, and there's um, there's a couple of Soulseeker games. There's the original, which was terminated in 2019. Then there's Soulseeker R, which was terminated in 2022, and then Soulseeker the Six Nights, just slightly different than Soulseeker Six Nights, and that was blockchain-based Soulseeker. So this is the end of Soulseeker. I don't think it's going to continue in any form. Um, I did create a Discord link if you guys want to discuss this game, and this is where you used to be able to download it. And this is their Facebook page, which they haven't posted in a while, and usually they post in Korean. It's only for the shorter messages that they post in English. They just released a big patch back in March with a lot of changes that aren't even listed in here that I was going to talk about. But yeah. The heroes are all very, very interesting. Let's just go through a little bit of combat here. So during the combat, it's auto combat, and based on your team selection, then you would get synergy bonuses, which is what is talked about here. This is all the synergies you can have. So I have Rafina, Fleta, Min, and Fatima for these nice evasion bonuses and attack speed bonuses, as well as we'll probably use Alex and Hassan. So let's Hassan. I'm used to using I'm used to using the app, but anyway, Hassan will not get attacked for the first couple hits. The first 36 hits is ignored. So we want him to be in our primary team, and these are sub team members. Let's move her here. Yeah, looks good. So during combat, I don't do much. You can turn off the special abilities, which everybody has a 30-second ability and a 20-second cooldown ability that they will cast automatically, and also there's every third attack they do is a special attack. And these little icons are the buffs and the debuffs. But basically, there's nothing to control. All the strategy is pre-combat. That was the Tower of, what is this called? The Tower of Abyss. During the Tower of Abyss battles, like there's just 3 waves. There's no additional enemies spawning. Whereas, okay, let's check out some of these heroes. Gain has the most unusual ability. which is this debuff. No, not that one. This one. Time and space slice. When starting a battle, enemies' attack and magic attack are decreased, and attack speed is decreased. So you start out with these debuffs. It used to be before the March update that on battle starting, if you have really high evasion, there's an evasion check, and you could evade this debuff. And so it was gains hit rating, accuracy rating versus the enemy's evasion rating, which is 50% of dexterity is evasion. So that's why I gave him as much accuracy as I can. See, he's got 1741. These are all accuracy runes. Because that's used to be the way you specialized gain is with accuracy. So those debuffs land. Because you can imagine if one of your guys doesn't have negative 60% damage and negative 60% attack speed because they evaded, gains debuff, and then the whole other team is debuffed, then you're going to win. Now, the way accuracy and evade work are I would say like the most important thing to understand is like if gain has 1,000 accuracy and the enemy has 2,000 evade, they will evade all the time. So, and then, but if they had 1,500 evade, then they would evade 50% of the time. So that relationship between how much percentage more is their evade than your accuracy. But it's always easier to get more evade than accuracy. So like he has 1741, that's the most I could get. Ravina, she has 2,135 evade. And then there is buffs and debuffs, and the buffs you can have multiple. Like you can basically the buff with the highest effect takes effect. There's no stacking of the exact same buff. You can't have 2 plus evade buffs. You can have an evade buff and an evade debuff at the same time, but you can't have 2 evade buffs. So in order to like maximize your chance of evade, you would want to get the evade buff and then preferably an accuracy debuff on the enemy, and then that would reduce their accuracy and increase your evade. So the set bonuses for bandits. Bandits are naturally have the highest dexterity and with the highest evade. So if you go to like illustration, this is at level 100 with max star rating. They would have 39 crit, accuracy 445, and evade 678. That's with just base evade. And the set bonus is character evade is increased 30% for 3 seconds when crit is triggered. So you want a really high crit, really high evade, dex increase 10%, 50% of dex increases evade, and evade is dex is approximately, about twice as much as evade usually, but in this case it's not. But like you increase dex 10%, generally it increases evade about 10% as well. And then for accuracy, the way you get accuracy is with another set bonus that is the Guardian set bonus, 2-piece set bonus that increases accuracy of all allies by 30% every time a heal is triggered. And so there's a way of getting plus 30% accuracy buff and then plus 30% evade, but it basically evens out. And then for debuffing evade, the way you do that is with is with rooks. Rooks is the main, he's the only guy with evade decrease, which is this icon here. That's evasion decrease. And at max level, it is 36.5. I think that's wrong. I think it should list it going up. Let me see. 36.5. So it went up 1.5. So it would go up a total of 3 times 4, which is 12 more. So 50% decrease in evasion at level 10 for the beast. Except it doesn't affect wind elements, which is what Fatima and Gain are wind. So if Rooks is going up against Gain or Fatima, then it wouldn't debuff them. But anyway, especially for the boss battles, which they already beat it, but with the guild raid, you would have to very much focus on accuracy in order to land your hits. Regarding crit, normally if you crit, you do 30% more damage. So if you normally do 100, you do 130. But you can get crit damage is increased. So if you do 130, now this would make it 195% damage. But Alex, so that one, see if we see this one. So it's a bit weird, but the second crit here, so that one right there, that's 2092. So it normally would be 803, but now it's 2092. Okay. So let's go back here. Okay, so 2092 divided by 803. Okay, so this is not what I said, right? It should be 1.95, right? But Alex is special in that every third attack, instead of getting the normal crit damage buff, you get it twice. So 2.6 minus 0.3 is 2.3, and then minus 1 divided by 2 is 65. So the 65% is all the crit damage is doubled. So you take the crit damage bonus, double it, times 2. Then you multiply that, then you add 0.3 because that's the typical amount. And then you just plus 1 because that's how much the default is. So it's 2.6. So the third attack is is called a special ability. So here it says non-skill attack, every 8th non-skill attack. What a non-skill attack is these first two. These first two attacks are called non-skill attacks. The third attack is a skill attack, even though it's your normal attack. It's not a cooldown attack. It's just your third attack. Now, if Alex gets interrupted in any way while he's doing the first, second, and third attack, or if he switches targets, or if the target dies and he reselects a target, he's got to start all over at 1. It goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But if he switches target at 1, 2, then it's going to start all over at 1 again. It doesn't matter if he evades on the first or second. It's just if the target dies, he switches targets, he gets interrupted, like Alex gets done. Then when you're fighting a single target boss fight, that's when you're doing the most third skill attacks because you're not switching targets. And that's where a lot of people do double Alex for guild raids because he gets twice as much bonus from crit damage. And if you're not doing huge crits, you're probably going to be just doing like 1 damage to guild bosses. All the damage comes from huge crits. Pierce is like opposite of resist. It's like removing the enemy's resist. Previously, you could have at most 50% resist, but now after the March update, you can have up to 100% resist. The only thing that does have a max percentage is decreased cooldown. It's 50% max. So that's reducing your 30% cooldown, 30 seconds cooldown to 15 seconds, and your 20-second cooldown to 10 seconds at most. Evade, accuracy, resist, attack speed. Attack speed is currently bugged in that if you get a stigmata that increases attack speed, it used to increase it 68, but now it increases it 68%. So like if I transfer all of her stuff, so now I don't have any runes, I don't have any equipment on, my attack speed is getting increased 919%, or sorry, 919. So if we go to okay, so 2269 minus 919 equals, okay, so 1350 is the base, right? That's the base for all 5-star bandits. And then if you multiply that times 0.68 times 1.68, so then we get 2268, which is really close to what 2269, right? So that makes it so she attacks super fast. Stigmata are really hard to get though. And this is just random. This is just random. Every time you use one of these stigmata, it's a random chance that, well, these stigmata only affect the physical attack and the HP, and it rarely affects these other two. But this one always affects at least these three, and this stigmata always changes all four. So this is not okay. Yeah, so bandits have the highest attack speed. Bandits have the highest crit. Bandits have the highest evade, and those are all things that the runes trigger off of. Like every time you evade, this happens. Every time you evade, this happens. Every time you crit, something happens. Every time you attack, you have a chance of stunning or silencing during non-skill attack. So these are the most popular heroes, are these top 15, which is, you'll notice it's all black, or like a darkness, light, and green. Like the most popular is probably like these three, Alex, who else? Rook's gang, Alex, Fatima, Eunice. Yeah. So those guys there, you can make a team out of them pretty easily. Rafina and Pleta. I mean, these girls, they are reckless. Rafina and plundering Pleta. They will steal you. They will stab you in the back and shoot you in the face at the same time. Stealing your cooldowns. So I used to, like, if I compare myself versus everybody else out there, I don't even show up on the top 100 for these. These are the popular choices. So I try messing with the not so popular choices. So for this girl, I am the second highest. And I like her because she has accuracy down. She will reduce the enemy's accuracy by 54%. So then, once you're hit with that, then all your bandits will evade attacks much easier. And it lasts for, this is based off the long cooldown, the 30-second cooldown. But if you reduce it to 15 seconds, and then you can get set bonus that increases debuff duration to 50%. So now instead of it being 10 seconds long, it's lasting 15. So that means every 15 seconds, you're casting a 15-second debuff. So it's basically always up. Asan has a special ability, right? He, when starting a battle, bounces off any attacks made on Asan 35 times. And so the start of battle, so usually battles are 3 waves. So start of battle means every wave. So it's 3 times per battle, it's happening 3 times. And let's see, there's like Boros has ability. If you go to his exclusive equipment, the starting battle damage received is decreased by 100%. And this is like a buff. So if you get hit with something that removes buffs, like Um, 60% chance, every third attack, 60% chance to cancel all buff effects. This would remove Boros, 100% damage reduction. Um, so I already kind of talked about why bandits are so good, like bandits, especially 5-star bandits. They all have 1350 attack speed. All other bandits have 1250 attack speed, which is the highest. And second highest is archers. They have around 1100. And then what normally happens is you're either focusing on bandits, so you'll have at least 2 bandits in your team, or you'll focus on wizards, which you'll have at least 2 wizards in your team, and they're good at AoE. It's just the AI is really stupid, so it will, if there's just like one enemy on the map, it will trigger its AoE ability immediately when it's off cooldown, and there's no way to say, hey, just trigger it when there's at least 2 enemies or something. Where I've played other games where they give you more control over when the abilities are used, not just use them right away. Um, Dread has one of the best healing abilities in the game. It used to be 4 seconds. Now it's 6 seconds of healing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every 10 seconds if you have 50% cooldown reduction. And then also that would trigger like the accuracy buff as well. Yeah, in this game, like because you're only using 3 heroes, normally for most games you would have like a tank, a healer, and then like 3 damage dealers if you had a team of 5. But this game you only have 3, so and you really want to focus as much as you can on damage and not let's do some more battles. Generally, like the bandits are very good in arena, but not as good in PvE. For some reason, enemy archers have super high accuracy, and like there's nothing that's making your archers have super high accuracy. Well, Cruci has the highest accuracy, but like generally all archers, enemy archers have very high accuracy. So they will eat through evade. But Cruci is special. He has the highest accuracy in the game when he has this buff on. So invulnerability, I want to talk about invulnerability. So bandits have very high evade. So why would you use a warrior? Well, we already talked about evasion down with rooks, but another thing that warriors usually often have is invincibility. Invincibility is this light glow, and when you're invincible, any debuffs that have already landed on you will take effect, but any new debuffs will not take effect, and any damage you take while you're invincible will not take effect. Um, Anyway, I want to talk about Nia. Nia, another thing they changed was like, um, so this attack buff that happens every time you use this ability, right? Your 30-second ability. It gives this magic attack buff to everybody. I believe it used to add the buff before the damage was done, but now it adds the buff. Sorry, it adds the buff after, so that means it wouldn't increase the damage. But now it's adding the buff before. So you can see it's doing 3,000, 3,309. So 3,309, you divide that by about 6, that's 551, and then divided by 145, divided by 1.45 equals 380, which is, this ability does about 380, right? It does 380 damage normally, but then it's getting increased by 45%. So now it's doing 551% of your attack, and your attack is about 6, right? So we multiply times 6, so that's 33006 or 9. So that's how you get that. So then if you compare that to the light Nia, light Nia is dealing 403 magic, and then you would multiply that times 6 as well. So 403.8 times 6, that's, we expect it to do 2,422, 2,425, and it also applies an attack buff, but it happens after the damage is done. Another hero that adds an attack buff is Irene. So again, I don't remember if this used to increase the damage or just add the buff after the damage. But now it is adding the buff before the damage, so it's doing quite a lot of damage. So I really was hoping to make use of her. Some of the other things that changed during the March update was, like, some of these abilities changed. They changed a lot of stuff. Like, this used to increase attack power, now it increases crit. Red, yeah, red and blue are definitely the hardest teams to make use of. Like, I like Irene with like some archers, because then they would buff. Oh, another thing is, like, they don't always spell out, like, this doesn't say physical attack buff. Sometimes when they say attack buff, it could mean both a physical attack buff and a magic attack buff. Sometimes it's just a physical attack buff. Sorry, let me try to find one. This. Okay, yeah. So this one, that increases both magic attack and physical attack. but the wording is exactly the same. So generally, like Igneo also, he increases attack, but this is only physical attack. And it's actually, it seems like really useful, like, oh, increases the physical attack of all fire elemental heroes by 52 for 15 seconds too. So that means it's up all the time. You know, after the first time it's used. But almost all red already have their own attack buff. You know, increases attack. So they already have their own attack buff. You can't have more than one attack buff at once. It used to be also that Cassell didn't buff attack, it would buff accuracy. It would say it always said attack here, but it actually buffed attack speed and accuracy, not attack speed and attack. But since the March update, it buffed attack and attack speed. Something that I find interesting is like Cassell Fire versus Cassell. The difference in how popular they are is kind of interesting. If I can spell their names. Cassell. I think I spelled their name wrong. But anyway, no, yeah. Okay. So the blue Cassell is 108. And then the red is... Where is red Cassell? Oh, it's 27. So 27 versus 108. So average is 40 CP for blue, and average is 73 for the top 100 Cassell. Why is it so different? Well, it's because this ability here will attack enemy with the highest magic attack. Generally, the guys, when they go into combat, they just run into the first guy they do an attack, fine, and then they attack them. For PvP arena, it's important to attack the highest magic attack or have something that causes you to start attacking the enemies in the back. So that this, and it does AoE damage as well. Versus blue, he does this ability, which isn't. I call it heat sinking. He doesn't have heat sinking. He's not highest magic attack. So I generally, like for my team, my PvP team, I don't have any magic users. That's one approach, is just not have any magic users. Then if the enemy has highest magic attack, they're not going to kill your mages or your wizards. But another way to do it is to use Liz. Because she has invincibility. So when she starts battle, she's invincible for about 15 seconds. And then if the enemy has highest magic attack targeting, no hero has both highest magic attack targeting and remove invincibility shield. So there's only Indra has deals damage and cancels all shields. So this will cancel all shields, including invincibility shields. It doesn't cancel Boros's uh, buff, because this is a buff. It doesn't cancel this, but it cancels shields. And then Leah also has invincibility. If the target has invincibility, shield is canceled. So there's very few ways of like canceling invincibility shield. But they both of these don't. Let's see. They don't have. I don't believe they have target highest magic attack, right? No. No. Yeah. So that's why Liz is good for having. If you have Liz and she has the highest magic attack, then you could have somebody else like a Eunice that would have slightly lower magic attack and then but wouldn't get attacked by the heat-seeking heroes. Another hero that's kind of interesting is Brenna. So she has something called no, that's a debuff shield. Okay, there's a couple different ways of getting it, but she has it immediately right away. The debuff shield is applied to all darkness heroes starting combat. But the thing is, this doesn't do anything about Gain's debuff. So Gain has the debuff that applies at the start of combat. This one. I'm starting about combat. So this will take effect first before Brenna's debuff shield. The only thing you can do about Gain is you can either also roll Gain, or you can get a hero that you're hoping will remove debuffs. Removing party debuffs, it's very hard. There's not that many people that can do it. So she can purify debuff effects. It's like a blue, it's hard to see, but it's blue animation. Another one that has it is Vincent. It will purify elemental allies. That means it will only purify other light heroes in your party. Removes debuff effects and purifies debuff effects. Yeah. So it's only specific heroes. Like this hero doesn't have it. But not many heroes can purify debuff effects. She can remove all debuff effects of one ally every 15 seconds. And then some of them, like when they're hit with a debuff, the debuff is removed. But that will not work versus Gain. His debuff will apply immediately. And also Darkness Dread has a debuff similar to Gain's that decreases the attack of all non-darkness heroes. Non-darkness. So this is only decreasing the melee attack, it's not increasing the magic attack. So if you have magic users, this does nothing. And if you have melee darkness heroes, this does nothing because it's not going to affect you. So another interesting thing about this game is like during combat, it will say no. Let me try to find something else. Here, it will say like blue is best versus red is best versus wind, and then light is best versus dark. Okay, this is very typical, right? But this is not really true. What's the hardest for blue is blue. What's the hardest for red is red. What's the hardest for green is green. It's kind of confusing. And then what's hardest for light is light, and what's hardest for darkness is dark. But their abilities will only take effect, like this one, if the target is not light. Then if the target is not light, he doesn't have that. You either have something that buffs light in your fourth spot, or something that will do damage to everything but light, or debuff everything but light. If the target is not wind. So generally you just want to kill things as fast as possible, and so stuff of the same color takes longer to kill, is more likely to get a chance to do a cooldown ability. Serene, she has a cool ability, which is like start a battle, increase all damage by 41%. But that only affects melee damage, not magic. You can also get a similar effect with equipment. When starting a battle, all attack of allies is increased by 20% for 10 seconds. You would need either a wizard or a female priest to have this set bonus, and it only increases it by 20%, but it affects both magic and physical attack. A few other things that changed by the March update were that the altar, this was like the main thing that kept somebody from switching colors. So you didn't used to be able to reset this, but now you can reset it. And so if I wanted, like if I had a darkness team as well, then I could just reset, click that, max, click that, and then switch to my darkness heroes, and then I'll go equipment change and just switch that, and then I would have that would automatically move all my runes over, and then I could like just start using my darkness hero team, and then go out and then if I wanted to switch back, then I'd come over here and reset. But there's a couple things that don't transfer for here, like that you can't transfer, and that is the stigmata. Stigmata is hero specific. Exclusive equipment, it's not too hard to get to level 10. Getting the equipment is a pain. Equipment is probably the worst part about the game because the market is you can't filter by anything. You can just say like, I want a dagger, and then you have to search through all of these for the thing you want, even if you know I want plus crit damage and plus attack speed. So like this, these are the best combinations: crit damage, attack speed, and that's why they're trying to sell it for more. But if you look at the equipment, daggers, you can get 2 from above options randomly. So the chance of you getting crit damage and attack speed out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is 7 times 6 divided by 2. So it's like 21. You have to get 21 daggers for this to drop. So it takes about, you would have to do this like about 200 times, probably get like 1 or 2 after doing 200. During this event here, you would get double items from adventuring, but that's the best time to go adventuring. This is the best time to upgrade your heroes. This is the best time to upgrade your runes, and you get, the rune event, to upgrade your heroes, get your hero rewards. There's always a diamond event going on. So in a lot of games like this, it's just random. Like you just do a multi-summon and it's just random what heroes you get. In this game, you can select which hero you want and then do a multi-summon. You would do 10 multi-summons, 10, so that's a total of 110, and you're guaranteed on your 110th summon to get the hero that you want. And also, like it used to be before the March update, the newest heroes, Rooks through Baldur, weren't available. Well, I mean, Ciri and Baldur were added in March, but Rooks through Liz were not here. So the only way you could get it is randomly, and the rates are really low. So for SSR, I'm an up chance SSR. So for each SSR hero, it's 0.035 chance. And then, how do I get out of here? 0.035 chance. Except for the one you have selected here, that one is 0.75 chance. But if you select the hero, then you can get it. So you can get your team you want really quick. There's really no reason to spend money in this game. I think that's why it's closing. The only thing worth spending money on is to get Fatima. And to get Fatima, you would spend $2 to get her. I spent $0 on this game. The next best thing would be like this package to get a 6-star hero ticket, and that is $45. They have 5 servers, but you can transfer items from each server to another server. So it's not like a clean starting over. Yeah, I think they could have given different benefits from paying money. I think that was a big mistake. I mean, I really enjoyed being able to get all the heroes. I got all the heroes for over 5 servers. I have all heroes, at least one of every one. but what else? I think that's about all I wanted to talk about.